When I first started at CBS News in 1971, it was owned by William Paley.
Yep.
And he believed so strongly that the news division should be autonomous. We could spend as much money as it took to cover the news. And it was for the public good. But then what happened at CBS equally happened at NBC and ABC. Greedy owners took over, bought the companies, and made the bottom line the ultimate goal.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost all of our obligation to be objective and be truthful, and all they wanted was money.
Yep.
And I am just mortified that to this day I see, at CBS, money drove the greed drove the fact that it was sold to David Ellison and Larry Ellison,
Mm-hmm.
and their unattention. I mean, they're not paying any attention to the old rules of journalism.
Well, one could argue just over the last 20, 25 years that the divide in this country and the divide in the media coverage has been so stark and become maybe even more stark. What do you make of that, the bias that may or may not be in the news business these days?
It is.
Okay. How do you view it? How has it changed maybe?
I'm horrified.
Mm-hmm.
Horrified with anyone who says on television, who purports to be an anchor or a news reporter, say, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you think. All I want is the facts. And I think everyone out there, because I've been across the country just in this last year, and people just want the facts. I think the only saving grace is actually local news.
Mm-hmm.
Local news still just primarily provides the facts and the weather
Right.
and sports.
So Apple, Amazon, Netflix are said to be among those companies interested for bidding for Warner Brothers Discovery, or at least parts of it. With big tech comes, of course, artificial intelligence. How do you make the case for why companies should not replace news reporters, news anchors with AI-generated and presented news, where they could focus on, presumably, the facts?
It's fake, too. It's all fake news, and we cannot depend on it. The social media has truly destroyed our reporting ability in many ways, because nothing is fact-checked. And I fear that AI would not be fact-checked. We can't depend on it. I can see the value of AI. For instance, if a doctor wants to look up research and figure out what a person's ailment is, he or she no longer has to go through volumes and volumes of medical literature. AI can find it in a second. And there are so many good benefits. But I think AI has no place in news. It just doesn't. I mean, I don't know what happened to truth. I believe that truth ruled when I was working in television news was ancient.
Mm-hmm.
In ancient times. Even though you have white hair, Paul.
Yeah, okay.
You know,
Exactly.
I have white hair too. I just color it.
Right, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. What's also changed, it seems like initiatives, not just in media, but across corporate America and society, the diversity, equality, inclusion, that movement, if you will, or that seems to have lost its momentum. And is that a concern for the newsroom, do you think?
It died with this administration. It's become non-existent and forced upon us. I would not have had a career had it not been for the 1964 Civil Rights Law, which created the Equal Employment Opportunities Commission. My sister-in-law, Lynn Povich, who is a researcher at Newsweek, filed a class action lawsuit with the other women because they were not allowed to move beyond the research stage. They could not be reporters, they could not be writers, they could not be editors, period, full stop. And I was, thanks to Lynn and the women's movement and the black movement at the time in the 60s and 70s when I started, I would not have had my first job at CBS News covering Watergate, covering a presidential campaign, the losing campaign of George McGovern in 1972. And I would not have covered Nelson Rockefeller when he was vice president after he took over, Ford took over from Nixon. We are seeing a replay of Nixon and Watergate. But during Watergate, at least Congress had a backbone. Members of Congress like Senator Barry Goldwater went to Nixon and said, you're not gonna survive.